Hi there, I'm Janet Fritz for Galaxy Girl Creations, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm working on a single page layout featuring Bella Boulevard's Mind Your Manners collection, and I have started with a solid piece of navy blue 12 by 12 cardstock, and I've layered up a piece of white cardstock right on top of that, and it's been trimmed down by 1/4 inch on each side so that the blue will provide a nice frame for it. I've also cut apart the border strip that goes with this collection, and I know that I want to use several of the pieces, intimating that family is really important to us. So the one that's right across the top says "Together is our favorite place to be," and the one with the little flowers, it look kind of like hearts from far away, but it has white writing on it. It says "It's all about family." And the one that's the darker pink with the white hearts says "Our Story." And this photo is many years old, and it is of my kids with my niece and nephews and my cousin's daughter, who would come to visit for a couple weeks every summer, and they are at our local roller rink. Sadly, our local roller rink is no longer there. It's been replaced by condos or apartments or some such thing. And it was a very sad day for us when we found out that it was going away. We spent many of Thursdays at that roller rink. They had $2 skate day on Thursdays, and oftentimes the kids would participate in some of the games that they would play on the roller rink floor, such as red light, green light, and they would win tickets to come back the following week for free. So we spent a lot of time there. We had a lot of homeschooling events there with a lot of our friends, and it was just a really fun place to be together and to goof off and have fun. So I am using this blue strip as a nice grounding place, and I've cut this 4x6 card into 2 pieces so that it can stretch across underneath my photo, and that's the colorful piece there that's going horizontally across the page. And you'll see that I'm playing with whether I want my photo to be more towards the top of the page or more towards the bottom of the page, and I'm moving it around based on what I think is going to look right, and it is going to end up closer to the bottom of the third of the page with the blue stripe on the right hand side. And the main reason that I decided to do that and have the photo more towards the right is because the majority of the kids in the photo are looking towards the left, so I didn't want them looking off of the page. When I use a single sheet of paper and have to stretch it under my photo to make it look like it's bigger than it is, I do typically use my T-square ruler to line it up and make sure that it is lined up on either side of the photo so that it doesn't look all wonky. And in this case, I am using it to go ahead and make sure that these border strips are nice and straight. In this particular layout, I don't really want my things to be too wonky. I really struggle with putting things off kilter a little bit. For me, I prefer to have them lined up unless I'm being very intentional about it, and that doesn't happen very often. So I do have other photos in the stack there. I went through and I just chose the best one out of the stack. Most of the kids are smiling and looking in the right direction, with the exception of, I believe, my son, who is the furthest left in the photo. He's looking off into no man's land, but at least his eyes are open and he has a decent expression on his face, so that's kind of hard to do when you've got 6 kids lined up in a row, and getting them all organized is kind of like herding cats. I know I said that I used mostly product from Bella Boulevard on this layout, and all of the papers are from Bella Boulevard, and you'll see that I'm going to use some blue puffy stars from them, but I did pull in some additional items from my stash. The little tag that says "Live It Up" is from a Click Kit cut apart, and then there's this red one right above it that says Everyday Life. The little green pennant flag is also from the Click Kit Cut Apart. I believe the red label's from maybe an L Studio Cut Apart, or it could also be from one of the Click Kit Cut Aparts. So I've pulled in just some random pieces. I don't know quite where all of them came from, but I wanted to make sure that they coordinated with the colors that I've already used and gave me plenty of room to write down all of the things that I wanted to say about our time at our local roller rink spent together having fun. I'm going to struggle for a little bit on where to put the Live It Up and Everyday Life pieces. I don't really like them stacked up the way they are. I'm going to have to move things around. I need to make room also for the journaling spots, which I will be stamping off screen onto some white cardstock. So in the meantime, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go and work on that upper left-hand corner and get that situated. I wanted to make sure I bring all three of those main colors, the blue, the green, and the red, up to the top. And that red is a little bit on the pinkish side, so it does bring in everything from the bottom as well. I'm using some puffy foam tape to add some dimension. I'm putting that underneath some of those pieces. I've just added a little chipboard piece that says cousins, because everybody in that picture is a cousin of some sort, with obviously the exception of them being siblings, but my kids are cousins with my brother's kids, and they are, I guess, maybe second cousins with my cousin's daughter. I'm not really sure exactly how that works out, but anyway, I thought it was appropriate, and so I used it. I'm trying to use this little blue flag, and that's from Jelly Bean Soup, and it's not going to make it. It just didn't look right. I couldn't get it to be situated right. I don't know if it was maybe because it's the same length as the green banner piece or what, but it was not working out up there. So I nixed that, and I'm on to checking out some puffy stickers. I've pulled out some from Illustrated Faith, and quickly decided those were not going to be the ones I wanted to use, and I've gone on to the blue stars from Bella Boulevard, and I love those. I think they worked out just perfectly. They come in multiple sizes. Some stars are open, some are closed. So I pretty much used the closed stars, but just love how they look, and I love the dimension that it brings to the layout. I'm going to go ahead and add my journaling spot now, and that was stamped with a set from Seven Gypsies, and it reads Treasure across the top. And I just used Memento ink to stamp it onto plain white cardstock. And I am back to moving around this Live It Up and Everyday Life, and I don't like them stacked up right on top of each other. I'm trying to do it nice and straight because, as I said before, I have a hard time putting things down off kilter or wonky, but in the end it is going to end up being a little bit wonky with the journaling spot. I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to go with it. So as hard as it is, it's going to happen. Now I am auditioning a few chipboard pieces from Me and My Big Ideas. I really liked this gold glittery family one, but there was also another one that said Loved Ones that I also liked, so I kept going back and forth between the two. Ultimately I ended up with Family, and there was a little tag in there that says I Love My, and that is going to get put right above Family. So I finally have figured out how I like it, and there is just a little bit of trap space underneath the Everyday Life. You know, I didn't even realize it, I think, when I put the layout together, but as I'm looking at it doing the voiceover, I notice it. I don't know if I'll go back and change that or not. It didn't seem to bother me when looking at the actual layout in person, so I'll have to take a look at that again and see if I make any edits or changes. Anyway, some of these chipboard pieces are also from that same Me and My Big Ideas package. One of them reads #smile, and the one next to Live It Up says Our Story. And then there's a little tiny recollections piece that's just in front of Smile that also reads Smile. So it says Smile, #smile. I just wanted to make sure I brought in that little pink color down there, and I've added the pink circle into the upper right hand corner, the embellishment cluster there that says Good Times, and I wanted to bring the gold glitter up there as well, so the little gold glitter circle says Smile again. So there's a lot of smiling going on this page. Now I've used my roller date stamp to go ahead and stamp it up there with the appropriate date. I believe this is a 2005 photo, and that roller date stamp is from October Afternoon. It's one of their Decades stamps, and it's come in very useful because I have a lot of photos from a long time ago, so I have the 1980s, 90s, and 2000s in that stamp. I'm going to go ahead and put my journaling down and talk about how much fun we had at this roller skating rink. The little blue tag in the bottom right hand corner, I'm going to include each of the kids' names, and the little blank spot next to that is going to list out some of the games that we played at that roller rink. And that's just about going to wrap it up. I hope you go ahead and stay tuned for the close-ups at the end, and if you've enjoyed this video, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up down below, I'd really appreciate it. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.